All right, that's better. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? I got the after lunch crowd. It's okay if you yawn and nap. I understand. It's cold. I know this conference is cold. So I'm Sarah Bush. I work in core services engineering within Microsoft, which means my customers are everybody who works for Microsoft. And I wanted to talk to you today about our Champions program, which is a small and integral part of our change management, especially as we move from Skype for Business onto Teams. So who here is tasked either with change management or Champions programs or both? All right, this is my crowd. Good. So first of all, I'll start with a little bit of background. The goal. About 18 months ago, we were asked to move our 200,000 users onto Teams fully, and they said, how are you going to do that? We said, well, let's think about it. We've got 14,000 conference rooms we need to update for the Teams meeting experience. We've got the 200,000 users we then need to push the Outlook add into for the Teams experience, and then finally move those users from what we were using was islands mode, full access to Skype for Business, and full access to Teams onto Teams only mode. So just a little thing. We had 4 key pillars. I'm not going to go deep into the full change management story because there's a lot to it, but there were 4 key pillars to that strategy. And I bring this up because you can see that champions were a part of every bit of it. Number 1, awareness, full campaigns, digital, physical campaigns, all kinds of marketing that we did internally regarding the change, regarding Teams, and champions themselves were a part of that by being the feet on the street that gave training, that gave answers, that were in the know about what was happening around the change management effort. Engagement. Champions not only gave training themselves and also held office hours, but we have what we call a white glove onboarding, where requests can come into IT from organizations or departments who say, how do we move our business processes? How do we adopt Teams? How do we change the way that we work in this new space? And so we provide that support, but also align them with the champions in their organizations, because one of the beautiful things about champions is they know what's going on in that organization. Where IT doesn't know those kinds of details always, the champions do. Measurement, critical. We set up metrics to measure what utilization was for our end users, especially in the parity functions of chat, meeting, and calling, so we can understand when we were ready to take Skype for Business away. But another and very important feature is that we set up listening systems, so we could understand what was happening with people using the product. When they were moving those workflows and those business processes into Teams, was something missing? Did it not translate correctly? All of those kinds of things, and that one of those channels were the champions that brought that back to us so we could go work with the product group to make changes. And then finally, management. Anybody who's done change management in an enterprise knows that you've got to get the leaders on board. So you get the leaders on board, you can move the other folks. And a key part of that with our change management platform was that we engaged all of the different leaders and then told them who champions were in their organizations to help them get training out, help them message what was happening. So one step back before we start in on the champions themselves, and one of the reasons we spun up champions so quickly is that we had been giving the art of teamwork training. And that is a series of trainings that we developed. We did them in person, we did webinars, we expanded to 3 time zones, multiple times a week. And we were finding from our metrics on this that for every person who took the training, 6 additional people on average were getting uptake in all of those key functionalities in Teams. Teams is social. I use it with my work group, and we found when we trained people, they were taking it back to their work groups. So we thought, we got to get training out fast and far, and we're going to need some help doing that. To read the chart, the far left are people who didn't take training, people in the middle took it, and the people on the far right are those who worked with the folks who took it. So we said, mid-February, let's try a pilot champions program, and it took off. As we onboarded champions and as we prepared for our full upgrade, the champions actually completely moved the needle. We got to 99% active usage in areas where there were champions. Today we have 1,500 champions in 156 buildings. So they have a fairly sizable footprint and they have a huge impact. They can really move numbers for you. A deeper look into some of the metrics across time. We're looking at, for that transition off of Skype for Business and fully onto Teams, we're really focused that first leg on chat, meeting, and calling. There's also a metric about email and showing, absolutely we still have email. There was an awesome session earlier today about the integrations and features that we have between Teams and email now. It's amazing. So this is not to say that email is going away. This is just to show that some of those conversations are open conversations between us and our team, and instead of threading and forking emails, they move those conversations to Teams. First, they were the first areas where there were champions, buildings where there were champions, and people had both Skype and Teams. Those were the first areas to choose Teams more often. And in fact, those areas significantly used Teams more often than they did Skype for Business before we deprecated it. So some anecdotal things to know over time. And even today in the full upgrade, we still work with partners and customers who may use different calling experiences. Buildings where there are champions, highest amount of calling experiences through Teams. So I gotta believe some of those people are saying, hey, try Teams out. So how did we build a successful program? I'm absolutely positive looking back, these are the things that were fundamental to our success. Number one was recruiting evangelists. Evangelists are not early adopters. They may be in that pool, but evangelists are the people who want you to know about this great thing and they want to help you. They have that kind of in their DNA where they want to participate with others. So we had the good fortune to have a Yammer group that was for Microsoft Teams questions. And we went to that group and found that there were quite a few people that were proactively, of their own accord, answering questions in that Yammer group about Teams. So we reached out to them, about 20 of them, and said, you guys interested in doing this? And they said yes, and you saw on that earlier slide how quickly that kind of took off. We did something else that I think was fundamental too. A little bit of swag can go a long way. We created a window cling and we created a sticker, and then we created a printed out form welcome letter that said thank you, for doing this in your own time, because this was in addition to their day job. Here are your resources, here's how you can contact us for help. And I got a lot of feedback that it made it real. It made it seem like we were really behind them and we would be there to help them. We trained the trainer, and I mean, we didn't just say, deliver the training to them. We literally, after they had taken the training, said, here's how we set it up. Here's the framework and all the bullet points that we walk through. Here are the lessons learned and the gotchas that we found in delivering this. We gave them the framework in a OneNote, we gave them the walkthrough in the OneNote, and then we gave them the actual training decks. And I think that helped make them successful. And the number one enabler has actually for quite some time now been other champions. They're bringing champions in. And we haven't had to do any active marketing around that for a long time. I would say also that another enabler is the Champions Badge, which is absolutely critical, or was to us. So scaling fast, make it global, make those deliverables for the champions turnkey, as I mentioned, by giving them a train the trainer session and a package of information so they can be off and running. They know, they're the known and local SMEs, and not just about the product, but about what's happening in your company and the transition in your company. So they're the go-to person for all of the information. And then finally, make them really identifiable. You can do that through the swag. We did that through this Champions Badge so that it would replicate across our tenant and experience, and it started a conversation. People didn't know what that was or what it meant, but it opened the door for a champion to have that conversation. How we operationalize this for people to be able to find champions and make it really useful. We have an intranet site for all things Teams. The facts, the new releases, anything you want to know about Teams is on this one place. So we landed the champions Get Help Here button on this site. And every champion is listed, their name, their organization, and their location, so you can look for somebody in your org or maybe somebody who's nearby and ask for some help. Right beneath that is, hey, do you want to become a champion? And we list the gives and gets. We've kept those pretty simple. We expect champions to participate in the Yammer group and help other users with their questions. We expect them to hold office hours and land the trainings that we train them on. We also expect them to show up to the champions community calls, which is like one of the highlights of being a champion anyway, because we bring the champions in every month to talk about what they're doing locally. They do so much. Recently, we had a champion talk about how they moved the entire procurement approval process through a series of flows into their team. Like, ta-da! There's all kinds of great things that they're doing locally. The gets are access to the SMEs in IT and the team's product group. We have a leaderboard that we recently released that gives them points for all of these activities. We also give them community access, meaning they have a champions team. And I think that that is actually the biggest prize of all. Champions talking to other champions. You can see a little bit here in the background. There's, again, 1,500 people in this team, and there's hundreds of daily users. They come here for help. They come here to offer new ideas. They come here and upload their files or the things that they're working on. And in the background here, I've got somebody who said, hey, where are read receipts again? And within 8 minutes, another champion said, they're here, and here's a screenshot. This just goes on all day long. And it's funny, too, because the champions have figured out who knows what, and they'll even mention one another if they can't answer something. Again, goes back to the secret sauce of getting your evangelists, because they love to do this kind of thing. Leaderboard over here on the right, and some of the quotes that we've received when we've surveyed the champions about the community. So it's really heartening to see that, that we did it right, and I think we got a little bit lucky, too. So what's next? We made the upgrade, we're there, we laid the road, we laid the runway. Now, how do we get productive? Really use the tool for the beyond the communications functions that it's built for. And we're doing a lot of research around what healthy teamwork means. There's industry research, and we've just finished up some of our internal research, and we've seen both show that it's extraordinarily important for work groups to have a common space to communicate, but it requires trust. So trust on the level of what I put there is going to be received in the way that it was intended. Trust that if I weigh in and give you my 2 cents on whatever we're trying to decide on, I can have my voice heard and we can make decisions together. Trust that the documentation and the things that we work on together here will actually stay updated, and all of those workflows will work properly. Teams does this, and if you can get your teams into it, then you can get these flywheels going where you get this productivity gain. This happens in channels. So you can have your chats and your meetings, and those are necessary pieces, but the nucleus of the teamwork and the content you're producing and the decisions you're making happens in channels. So we're looking at how do you get more activity in those channels and build that trust network. You can see already, just with our early efforts, in buildings where there are champions, channel usage is highest. I'm just like, yes. So, they have longevity. If you keep them in the know, if you keep them SMEs, if you keep bringing to them the next thing, then you can keep that really a lively group. Also, we have built a very early version of a training bot. We want to give them new tools. This is a bot that we built that has some of those tasks that you need to know when you first onboard to teams, but it's buildable so that we can help teams do tasks inside the channels and make things a little bit fun and a little bit funny, and that kind of gets the vibe going in the channel and makes it feel like I understand a little bit more about what can happen here, and builds that culture a little bit of the team. So just have the video, there's no audio going in the background. Kind of fun to play with, and could be extensible for different types of uses and different types of trainings. But again, it's giving the champions another tool in their toolkit to be the cool kid, right? To have that next fun thing to do. So that's a lot of fun. So I want to mention, as I did again at the beginning, I work for the internal-facing folks. Those are my customers, but we have a lot through the Teams product group of support and help on how to build champions and how to become part of a champions program, the Office 365 champions that you can join. And you can join a network of people trying to do this same thing in their orgs. And there are learning pathways and some other sessions that you can watch the recordings of and get help from. So I'd be happy to take some questions if there are any, both now and also I'll be in our booth 27 right after this.
You mentioned the badge that was on their photo. Is that done in Teams itself, or was that in Yammer?
It's in Teams. It's a Teams app. It's actually a tenant application, tenant level application that we published and then put into our Teams team. So it's a private team if you're a teamwork champion, and we published it as a tab. So if you get in the team, you can go download the app.
Oh, very cool. Okay, thank you.
Yes. We call it the Champions Badge, and I heard from my counterpart, Karawanagatimu, in the PG that they're going to be releasing, we gave them the code and information, and they're going to be releasing it next quarter. Yeah.
How did you build trust in your community in order for people to get over their vulnerability of sharing out loud?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. How to build trust in the community and get over that fear of being vulnerable. The first thing in the community of champions was that we picked the folks that were already out there reaching out. So we had some extroverts that we started with. And then as others onboarded, we had those meetings monthly where we highlighted what people were doing and we asked people to join in and have their questions answered. And I think just by being there as the SMEs and the product group, just always answering their questions in the channels, knowing that we were there to support them, it made a big difference.
How did you invite the very first champions? How do you identify them?
Yeah. For us, there were a couple of key things, and you may have something similar in your enterprises. The first one was we had a Yammer team that was specific to Teams questions, and we identified who was already out there of their own accord, proactively reaching out with the answers. The second is we have an early onboarder program called Elite, where people, they like to be in that dog fooding situation, and they want to try the new things, so we reached out to that group as well, because we knew that there should be some evangelists in that team of early adopters.
Hi, could you tell a little about the leaderboard, how you built it and how you're engaging people to do tasks to get points on the leaderboard, and what was it built on?
Yeah, absolutely. That is another Teams app that was built and published to the team, and we measure three core things. One, whether they're engaging in Yammer, so we can see if they're engaging in that Teams Yammer and helping people out, if they're scheduling office hours, and if they're scheduling training sessions. So they can get, on a monthly level, a certain number of capped points for doing any three of those activities, and then that gives them points on the leaderboard. Yeah, can I have it? Yes. When we have it nailed down, which we do now, I will give it over to the product group like the badge, and then hopefully they will release it also for you guys to use. Yes.
Hi. Right now we are having trouble with our CFO or internal sponsor.
Yeah.
So one of the questions is, why is a good metric, or why is it good to start using Outlook less? I mean, do you have any hard data that we can show the company and say why is using Teams, Yammer, or other tools instead of using email? Because you show some nice metric that using Teams was leading to a less usage of an email, but how can we show to the company that is a good thing to do?
Well, it's a great question. I don't think that that's actually what I would take to my CFO or CTO or CEO. It's not about using email less. It's about using the collaboration platform for what it was intended for. A collaboration platform for my team, my Interloop team that I'm working with all the time, versus a me-centric experience in email makes a very different velocity in how I'm doing my work. If I send an email and I'm the only one there in my inbox, one at a time, I got to wait for a response. But if I'm over here working in a collaboration space, then I can actually @mention. I have real-time meetings inside those Teams meetings inside those channels. I can access the content we're working on and have it in context with my conversation instead of opening it up out of an attachment in an email or something of that nature. So it's a bigger, broader conversation about how we work as teams. And I understand you need metrics because they speak in metric, but I would look at a bigger picture.
You mentioned that when you started off, you almost handpicked the people that you wanted to be champions.
Yeah.
Now, when you get people who request that they want to be a champion, do you vet them in any way to make sure they've got the right attributes, or do you just take anyone you can get?
We have a talent show. No, I'm kidding. No. We opened it up to any Microsoft employee. They understand the gives and gets, what they have to do. And if they come in and they decide they don't like it, they are welcome to leave. And then, our flows update everything and they move on and we move on. And over the, last 18 months, we've just seen increases in the numbers. So they're finding something of value there and we find them incredibly valuable. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.